Hi, guys, and welcome to our page where we're going to talk about our TTC journey as the holidays. I just wanted to do a very hopefully quick introduction on who we are and our journey into trying to make this little person and kind of some of the woes that we've been through. I'm going to try not to ramble because I tend to do that. So hang in there with me. I promise I'll try to make this short. Also, you may notice in a variety of videos as I continue on with this journey, my two fur babies, they are very, very annoyingly attached to me. So if they pop in and out, I'm sorry. I'll try to keep them at bay. Coincidentally, today I'm wearing my shirt that says "Eating Tacos for Two," which is the first shirt I bought, I don't know, maybe a year ago, when I was like, this is how I'm going to announce to my family that I'm pregnant. And I didn't wear it at all. I didn't wear it and didn't wear it. And then when the pregnancy kept not happening and not happening and not happening, I was like, forget it. It's a comfortable shirt, but this is a part of my journey as well. So, I guess I'll kind of dive right into it. You might see my husband sometimes on these videos too, but my name's Kelly, and I am 34. I am obviously black, and I've been on this journey for what I like to call it 3 years, which is the whole point of the 3 years and counting. So the entire 3 years we haven't necessarily been trying per se, but for me it all started when I realized that I had fibroids. So I'm the type of person that is like, oh, I gotta hurry up and do this so I can get it done without doing all the proper research, which I've now come to find out 3 years deep that that's not a great idea. But when I first found out I had fibroids, my first doctor, who was so sweet, who was also black, and I like her as a doctor. I didn't necessarily like the practice of what came from it. It didn't end up fitting well. But at any rate, she said that she thought I should have a myomectomy. Now, I think she's just myomectomy heavy, and I probably should have got some other opinions because I had a very big surgery to get those out. And I do think I needed to get them out because her thought was, get the fibroids out because they're big enough that they're going to take up space in your uterus, and then they're going to be like, nope, you can't come in here, so it won't share with my baby, and I didn't need those problems. So I got them done, but I probably could have not necessarily gotten an open surgery myomectomy, I think now. But in my head, it was going to hurry up and move things along when I could actually start getting pregnant. But in getting that, she told me I needed to wait 15 months. So there was 15 months of period where I was not even making the attempt to try because of that myomectomy, because my uterus needed time to heal. But I still count that as part of my journey because I intentionally did it to move forward in my journey. So I waited that, and forgive me for my table shaking. I don't know what the deal is. I'll take my hands off. But so I waited that 15 months. I start trying. And in my head, it was going to work out. Like I had already taken care of what the problem was, so it might take a couple months, but I'll get there. And it didn't, and it kept not happening, and I'm going to have so many stories about the struggles I went through with my doctor before getting referrals and all that other stuff, but I don't want to necessarily overwhelm you guys on the first video. But just know that a lot of things interfered, and I hate HMO insurance. And I think my OB I don't think she had enough information about infertility issues. Again, I love her. She's a sweet person, but she wasn't as educated in infertility issues as I needed someone to be. But eventually, I took it upon myself because she had told me about Bios, which is the fertility clinic I'm going to. And so I took it upon myself to say, okay, let me give my husband semen analysis. So we did that in was it March? Maybe. And I paid for that. But my OB wanted me to get an HSG and hysteroscopy. Like, I did so much stuff with her because she was like, well, when you get there, they're going to want you to do that anyway, which probably was maybe necessary, but not. But that's another conversation. And so I got all that stuff done, which was good. Then she was saying, let's do 2 months of Clomid because I know they're going to want you to. Turns out my insurance wanted 3 months. So by the time I got to the RE, I still had to do another month. But we were still waiting, and so that extra month wasn't that big a deal. We were waiting for approvals and things. Eventually, I did the sperm analysis in March. Everything came back okay with that. A few things that we were kind of concerned about, but not really. But it turned out it was okay. And then finally, I got my referral, I think probably in June of 2020. So that's when I started really with the reproductive endocrinologist. And we literally dived straight into IVF cycle because she thought my AMH was too low for my age. Not substantially low, but just low. And that I wasn't producing the eggs the amount of eggs that they thought was appropriate for me at that time. And when we first talked, she said, you know, my goal is to have you pregnant by Christmas. So that was kind of an idea I had in my head. And I was adamant that I was going to be pregnant by Christmas. Didn't happen. Obviously, because I'm still not pregnant. So I did 3 retrieval cycles. I ended up with 10 frozen embryos. In this month, I was in my first frozen embryo transfer month. But we came to find out that my body does not like estrogen supplements because it was just making my lining thinner and thinner and thinner. So now next month, we're going to put me back on stimulants because when I was on stimulants, my lining actually was getting thicker. So that's what we're going to do next month. And so now I'm adamant that I am going to have a baby in November, which coincidentally is the month of my birthday. So now I'm going to have to share. But at this point, I'm willing to. I am okay with being blessed with a little baby at any month at this point. So yeah, that's kind of just a brief introduction of kind of where we were, kind of where we are now. So I'm really hopeful that once my period starts in the next week or so, we'll be good to start going, and hopefully I'll be pregnant next month. But again, I didn't want to make this video too long, and I'm sure there's a lot of stories along the journey that I can come back and tell you. And like I said, I want my husband to come in, but also in this journey I've met some really amazing women in support groups, and amazing Black women too. And we've kind of come to the conclusion that as Black women, we don't talk about this very much. And even in my own family, like, I knew my grandma had some infertility issues. She had several miscarriages throughout her adulthood. But it's still not a conversation we have. And that's with any medical issues in our family. It's just not a conversation. So I want to make sure that I don't mind sharing my journey, because we do better when we connect together. And I realized that after meeting all those amazing women. And you just get more knowledge and more information. And then just for the most part, you kind of feel like you're not alone and you're not the only person that's going through this. So, hopefully this little introduction video has been helpful. And, subscribe, follow my page, follow my story. I plan on taking this throughout the duration of my pregnancy too. Just so we can kind of get a feel for things, and I just hope you guys get some benefit from it and are able to follow along. I do look forward to talking to you guys, and thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. Bye.